and it opened my eyes a lot, and then that made me come back even stronger.
Bro.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, the thing about it is you wear so many different hats. So that I could definitely see how that can keep you in rotation. Like when one field is cold, you can jump to something else that's a little bit more, hotter at the time.
yeah,
So
yeah. It does, and you know, it all kind of, it's like an avalanche, right? It all kinds of feed off each other to me.
mhm.
Um, and you see a lot of actors or producers and directors. It expands your platform when you get out and do more.
Hmm.
And it's easy to work with actors who have some experience behind the camera because they can relate to what you need.
Right.
Right.
So my next question for you is, the pandemic has brought on an influx of skits done by a lot of YouTubers. Is that something that you ever thought of getting into?
I'm sorry, say it again.
The pandemic has brought on an influx of like comedy skits and stuff by YouTubers who, actors, comedians, and stuff like that. Is that something that you ever thought about getting into?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I've done some comedy actually. Um, I realized as I got into acting, I had to develop my skills. I wasn't an actor. I didn't have the background. I'm 38 years old, wanted to be an actor. And I started studying improv.
Hmm.
Improv is what kind of taught me to let go and let loose. And what I realized is I'm naturally funny. Like I don't have to really be. And I think most humans are naturally funny when they let go and be themselves in a
Right.
moment or situation. They're naturally funny. And I studied improv for 2 years. And I'll give you a real quick story how that went. It was, hey, I'm enjoying the acting stuff. I want to get a job doing this. I want to do more acting. Uh, People keep calling me to come do background work, right? And background was cool for a couple weeks, and then it's like, okay, I don't want to do this no more. I want to act. I want to be up in front of the camera.
Hmm.
All right, well, get an agent. Okay, I go out to get an agent, and the same thing. The lady's like, well, you got a good look, but you need to work on your acting. You need to work on loosening up because when I went to audition for my agent, she gave me a little script, and she said, "Here, read this." And I stood up proud and loud and read it word for word. Like, you like I was giving a speech, I read it word for word. And it was kind of a commercial, a comedic commercial. I was just reading it, right? And she
Hmm.
said, go study improv for 3 months and come back because you got a good look. I've heard that so many times. You got a good look.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
So I went and took an improv class. I didn't come back for like 2 years to the acting
Mm.
stuff. I fell in love with the class. I was having so much fun. But it was like therapy to me. But it teaches you to let go and just be yourself. Um, there was a point in time where, like this interview, I probably would have put on some fancy clothes and hooked up my background, just went all out the way to make sure everything's perfect.
Uh-huh.
You know, and it's like, so I've learned to let go of that. I think I still have that Southern pride in my
Mm.
image somewhat, but it's nowhere near like it was. And so, but that's where I kind of fell into the comedy is through improv. And so I've done a couple skits when I was doing more independent films work, whatnot. Like people come in with these funny scripts. I
Mhm.
really enjoyed it. One good one you can look up is called Jive Genie. It's about a genie pimp. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
I remember that. I
yeah,
remember
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. That's old.
Yeah.
That's old. It's been out for a long time, but that was like, oh man, like we did that, and they didn't know what the hell. They wrote the script.
Uh-huh.
But they had their kind of idea what they wanted, but it's something that kind of manifested through me organically, and it was
Hmm.
funny. So
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to go back and look at that because I remember you posting the pictures on Facebook for that project, and I was looking at it, I was like, he really do look like a pimp.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like a pimp, but a genie. I got the big old, got big shoulders, the big fluffy shoulders, and I'm doing spells. So that was kind of fun.
Oh, man.
Mm,
Yes, go check that out. Jive Genie.
definitely,
And
definitely.
that was an independent film. That was just a what they call a 48-hour competition.
Uh-huh.
You had 48 hours to make a film. It wasn't even like the script was written over in a couple of hours. We had to shoot everything and have it done. And it won some awards for the competition, but it was really low budget. It was like when I first got into acting, I was just happy to be on camera, you know, but it turned out to be pretty funny. And then they turned around and wanted to do a feature film with it, a movie with it. And we shot a music video with Money B for Digital Underground.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got a music video. We don't have the rights to release it, but Money B was in it, and they had eyes with Snoop Dogg. Them enjoyed the character, and they were talking about pushing it, but I don't know what ever happened to it after that.
Wow.
Who knows? You know, I hope they do something with it soon because I ain't getting no younger.
Right. Oh man.
I'm ready to play granddaddy role, you know.
Right.
What's good, Kevin? See Kevin pop up.
Yeah.
What's up, fam?
Have you ever or could you do a romantic scene?
Oh, yeah, I've done that.
I see you scratch your head on that one.
How romantic we talking here? You know what I mean? Like,
hey, whatever romantic you did or
dinner in a movie kind of thing. Yeah, I've done those. Let's see. When it comes to, so this is my perspective on acting. See how to define it. Where you had to put out different emotions. So these days, I mean, years ago, it was, you know, you had to be able to act, right? You got to act happy. You got to act sad. You got to act like you're in love. These days, the audience, because of technology and the audience demand, like they don't want to look for anything fake. You remember how, like, you remember those old movies? Like, I use the one Eddie Murphy used when he's like, in the old days, you know, a girl get mad or whatever. How'd it go? Girl get mad and be like, "Hey, let me out the car." You know?
Oh yeah.
No, we're not having any of that. You know, no, not having any of that. No. And dude, like, get out. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I remember that.
Like, get out. Just take off. Right?
Oh man.
People want to see that. People want to see the realness of that, right?
Yeah.
You know, and understand how you feel about it in the moment. So, you know, I'm trying to pull up the summary of what I'm trying to say, but today you have to be more organic. You can't be an actor. You got to be living it, you know? So when you talk about romantic scenes, you can act like you're in love, but the audience will peel that away so fast these days. Years ago, you can get away with it. You can kiss, you know, go kiss and then
the TV kiss.
Now you gotta be like all of them in there. They looking like, man, you know, they dying to see the love, and you can't fake it. You know.
Wow.
You gotta learn how to be organic, and you gotta live in the moment. And I use method acting as a technique of, you know, if I'm in love with somebody, then I'm in love with them in that moment of time. Like, I'm in love with them. And I go through my motions, get my mind right for that. I pull back on a lot of my history of people I've been with in different situations, depending on the script. And I feed off that and push forward with that, you know?
Okay.
But so to be romantic, to be in love is being in love in that moment. You know, I tell my ex-girl, like, hey, at a time, look, you know, I got this scene, because I got one big scene. It was like a makeout scene. You know, it was pretty intense. And it was my first time, it was my first experience. And I was just geared up for it, you know. The girl was real cute, you know, and I'm like, man, that helps. But it wasn't what I expected it though, man. It was just like, you know, she first of all, and see, I ain't gotta worry about no names because nobody know what I'm talking about, but her breath was kicking.
Oh.
You know, I was wondering, like, is she doing this on purpose? You know, so I gave her some gum. You know what I mean? I was showing those Altoids. I had a couple of Altoids, and I was like, yo, you know, you want an Altoid? And,
Oh man.
Hey guys, got to stand by. I got a little technical issue. Give me 1 second here.
Okay.
All right.
Hope y'all enjoying this interview so far with
Yeah.
Jerry Bell Jr. He's a military brat. We went to school with him in Germany. Definitely getting his story out there and getting some laughs in and reconnecting. So far, so funny.
Definitely. It's
Yeah,
funny.
you can definitely find us on your preferred podcast platform. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Patreon, all that good stuff.
Definitely. You can always reach out at the kingni369@gmail.com.
Yes. And we are back.
Sorry about that, fellas.
No
Not
problem.
a problem. So if you could remake and star in any movie, what would it be?
A remake. One of my favorite movies is Color Purple, man.
Yeah. Yes.
I just I like those period pieces, especially when they go out and they recreate it almost exactly like history put it out to be. And I mentioned it before because I was like, I'll play Harpo or someone that's in the background, but that's one of my favorite movies, man. Whoopi was a killer in it. Danny Glover, kind of bringing some of his characters back. I would probably enjoy more of a dramatic type film. The new Coming to America I thought was pretty good. To me, it was more just the surface of reinventing what they had using all the same actors. Which, by the way, I auditioned for that.
Oh wow!
Didn't get it. I was a little salty about it, but yeah, I auditioned.
Hey, I'd have been salty too.
Yeah, man.
It was just 1 or 2 scenes, but they cut the scenes in the final, so I probably would have been cut. So I probably been more upset if I got it.
Oh,
but
yeah.
The part when the kid's scalping those tickets and those cops, you see these cops walking up to him, and then it looks like the cops about to approach him, then they cut it. If you pay attention to like the background a little bit, like some cops about to catch him, then they cut it. But it's supposed to be a big chase scene, and then I get tired. I'm chasing them, and I get tired and get burnt out, whatever. But I didn't get it.
Oh, so you would have been a cop.
Hard to be on that cast though, just to be with that entire cast, that just to be working.
Oh yeah,
man, so golden. That would have been amazing.
Yeah,
just for the experience alone. I mean, with you having that much actors and actresses on one set, the experience alone combined, I mean, you could have soaked up all of their knowledge or anything they were willing to share. So that would have been dope.
Yeah, man. And those experiences come around. Like when they promote, when they try to get actors on projects, the first thing they do is tell you who's on it. They start name dropping. Like, you can be on this set with this guy, and a lot of actors get all excited about it, I don't. I be looking at like the opportunity at hand, like overall. But unless it's Denzel, and then it's something else.
Denzel is the reference point.
He's my highlight of bar of an actor. He's accomplished so much, and I can only imagine his hustle in the early days. I read up on him a little bit, and he's accomplished a lot, man.
Oh yeah, definitely.
On legacy, and like Training Day, he was amazing in that. I think I could have pulled that off a little bit though. I would pull back some of that street knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, Jake. I want my money, Jake. Let me get my money.
You could have did it, man. I totally believe
it. Ain't got shit on me.
Shoot program.
Shoot program.
Oh man. So are you flexible enough to work on short notice as a stand-in, or how quickly can you assume a new role? Like if they called you today and said, hey, we need you tomorrow to play so and so and so and so, would you need like prep time, or you like, let me get in there and let me see what I can do?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a red flag to me if a production come to me like, hey, we need you tomorrow, unless they have a good excuse like that the main actor got sick or something bad happened or whatever. But they absolutely have to get someone in place.
Mhm.
But as an actor, if it's a significant role, then they need to take their time and allow you to manifest into the character a little bit more. So short notice to be a stand-in, I probably wouldn't do that. I'm a little bougie now as an actor. Bougie. The best way to start acting is to do background stuff. To kind of, I suggest anybody want to get into acting, go volunteer to go work the background, get paid, in the background, so you can understand the business a little bit more.
Mm.
But once what they told me was that to be respected as an actor, you can't be doing background work.
Oh.
The actor, because you're in the background, you're a human prop in a way.
Mhm.
Get that set experience is great, but to be respected, you want a camera in your face, and then let's see how you handle that with a camera in your face, and in a room with 30 people who the makeup artist just did put makeup on your face, and then the wardrobe lady just threw you in a costume, and then you're supposed to remember these lines and follow this blocking and do exactly what they want you to do. That's when the real skills come out. Not just, hey, walk across the camera when I give you the cue, or go grab a drink and walk off camera. So it's not as challenging with that, but to learn all the details and the etiquette of being on set, definitely do that. But they called me tomorrow and said, so a background actor, you can do that. You can be like, all I gotta do is clear my schedule.
Mhm.
But if you call me tomorrow and you want me to play a role, and it's like, say it's one scene, there's 5 or 6 pages of dialogue, and I'm supposed to be a certain person doing a certain thing, it takes a little time to get there. You can't just read it and be there,
Right.
And embody the emotion they want you to have.
Mm. So, what is the most challenging thing about bringing the script to life?
As a filmmaker, it's everything. Filmmaking ain't easy. It's not easy. And if you do a feature film, I know if I'm gonna make a feature film as a director, if I got the budget, it boils down to budget, right? If you got the money, do it. So that's the first thing I do is get the money. And so that's probably the initial challenge, is having funding to do whatever the film is going to be. So let's say someone gave me $1 million. So I don't have to worry about that. I can go make a film. I can go hire some decent actors. You got to acquire locations, logistics of locations, the timing. Is it going to be in the summer? It's going to be in the winter. Do you have to go recreate the atmosphere? Do you have to create rain if it's supposed to be a rainy day? Or, if it's supposed to be sunny, you're going to shoot that day. Dynamics of the talent, what the talent schedule is like. It's all like the logistics of it. Finding the right location, the costume design, the set design, like especially period pieces. It's supposed to take place in, what's the movie? Judas and the Black Messiah, which is a pretty amazing movie. But the 60s and getting the haircuts down and all the artifacts and everything you see inside the houses of it's like it's everything anyone can see on the camera you have to go recreate. That's besides just the acting. So it's all challenging to recreate. Right? That's no question. All challenging. You get a good team of people that know what they're doing. That's pretty what I think it boils down to. Can't one person do it by himself? Can't take credit like that,
Yeah. So what do you love the most about acting?
Oh man, I'm like my son, man. Like when I first got into it, I was kind of telling you guys about my first commercial gig, where I got lucky in a way, because I hate to say lucky, but the guy, it was a Toyota commercial, was my first gig, and they paid a lot of money for me to shoot for 2 days, and I went on set, and it was just meeting new people, new experiences. every project's different, and I'm very spontaneous like that, and I'm an explorer. So it's like if you're not, if you like things to be the same, you like routine, this not the industry for you, because one day you'll be in this location shooting here, on a nice sunny day, it was beautiful. You're on top of the mountain, looking at the beautiful atmosphere outside. The next day you can be in rain and mud, laying in mud, pretty much, being shot then. And I just enjoy the opportunities to expand beyond myself.
Okay.
So I get to step outside of Jerry Bell Jr. and be whoever they want me to be. And most of the time it's Jerry Bell Jr., but focus on from a different perspective.
Right.
I take every character I do is me, with a little bit more emphasis on whatever that character is supposed to be.
Okay.
So I'm kind of done that. But I enjoy that, stepping outside my own box. Probably the biggest thing is just the new experiences, meeting new people. Every project's different. So yeah, I enjoy that kind of stuff.
So what are your biggest accomplishments that you view as your biggest accomplishments in the field of acting?
Just exposing my son to this passion I have, whether he becomes passionate about it or not. Just being able to show him a different perspective on being successful. And that's why I was touching on earlier, like instead of, hey, go to school, get education, go be successful. It's like for him to go and be an artist. I just don't feel like there's enough emphasis in that. As kids are growing up, there are young kids who are into music, heavily into music, and they want to, I'm gonna be a rapper, and then the family's like, well, maybe you should go to school and be a doctor first. Being a rapper. And I have the confidence that dude's gonna be okay. He's gonna get a good job. But what I'm excited about is he's gonna be able to step beyond just who he is, and be able to have these rare opportunities that most people won't get. I've been in the city for some years now, and I know people been here all their lives, and I've been places that they've never been, never seen. On top of skyscrapers, shooting movies, and looking at Portland, Oregon from a place they've never seen.
Right.
And that to me is just pretty amazing. That can happen, and you need everybody in there to make it amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So with that being said, like we said, we know that you're a writer, we know you're a producer, we know you're an actor, we know you're a director. I mean, the list goes on. Out of all of those hats that you have skills in, which one do you prefer the most?
The acting. And just real quick, and I'm gonna elaborate on that question some more too, but probably the most important project to me was the Swiffer. To answer your question, King, I didn't finish answering your question. The Swiffer commercial is because, it's something I did with my son, and it's something that we have, a legacy we have together, in the world got to see, me and my son together, me being a father and him being a kid. That to me was the most important one. And the people reaching out from everywhere, I had moms reaching out, asking for advice on like the fathers, how do I get my man to focus more on this, focus more on that. It's crazy how much people take in from a little 30-second spot on TV.
Right.
It would amaze you. So yeah, that's my biggest accomplishment right there. I feel was the Swiffer. But the acting to me is that's where the passion really comes from. I wanted to make my own films. I do it. I can do it. I realized, I've proved myself I can make movies. I can make film. It's a project, it's work. And you got to be able to make sure, as a producer, you got to make every element of every angle happen. Everything you see, as I was just talking about, as a director, your vision you have to be able to communicate your vision and make sure everything's there that you want to see happen.
Right.
You know, it's a lot of work. That to me is extremely stressful. Producing is extremely stressful. It takes like a feature-length film could take, depends on your budget, how much money you got, how much money you got to blow. It could take a couple of years for a movie. A big blockbuster production with millions and millions of dollars still take, you know, about a year to get done.
Wow.
So put that in perspective, you know.
Right. So Cassandra says, have you encountered situations where you were excited to work with a well-known actor only to find out that she was difficult to work with or simply a jerk? I know that you can't mention them by name.
Yeah. I haven't had any bad experiences with some leads and actors. I've been on a couple of TV shows, you know, and all the leads and the actors that I've been on those shows with, like we end up going after the set, after the shoot, and go out, hang out for dinner and drinks. So, yeah, I haven't had any bad experiences. Aldis, I don't know if you guys know Aldis Hodge. He and I became really good friends. This was before he really took off. He was on Leverage. They shot here in Oregon, and now he's in everything. What's the new one that just came out? He's in the one with, I forgot the name of it. The one with Malcolm and Muhammad Ali. And,
One Night in Miami.
Yeah.
One Night in Miami. Yeah. So Aldis played Jim Brown. Jim Brown, football player. Yeah. So he's been in so much since, you know, this is like when I just get in acting, and he reached out to me. He's like, hey man, you know, you want to go shoot pool sometime? He knew I shot pool, and he just randomly called me up, you know, to go shoot some pool. And I was like, okay, hey babe, we gotta go. That's when I first get into acting. I'm like, man, you might hook me up with some gigs, but
right.
Yeah, a lot of the actors I met myself, have been pretty cool and down to earth, you know. But I know that they're out there. I can see that. I can see where, you know, some of the actors might get a little bit above themselves in some ways, or they're focused on the people that are around them, kind of falls out of focus. I can see that.
Okay. So Cheryl says, what has been your most challenging project?
That's a good question. Let's see. That's a good question. I could tell you that as a producer, not with the acting, you know, usually the challenges with acting would be more of terrain, like where I'm shooting, what time of night. You know, we got this Friday 13th fan film coming out right now, called Rising. And I came into this project, I didn't realize what level it was going to be, but I think it's the next best thing to early on Jason films that's going to get these days. Because the franchise stopped. You know, they stopped making the Jason movies. Yeah. And so now they leave it up to the fans. And these fan films are kind of taking off right now because you have fans that want to see it, that's got money. They're like, hey, they find a production company that's really good at making movies. Like, go make us a new movie. Right. Jason Rising, which is kind of like I ain't gonna say it's a dream come true because I never thought about fighting Jason, you know, but I'll be fighting Jason in this movie. You know what I mean? Like,
oh man,
it looks and feels, and the whole atmosphere feels that way. It's cringing in a sense, and so it was challenging for me to go shoot in the woods in the middle of the night while it's freezing, you know, in the dark. Just even with the crew, like I was like, you know what I mean? Like we're in the middle of nowhere, and I had to walk back to the tent. I walked back to the base camp with a flashlight in the middle of the dark. I was recreating Jason and blood everywhere. You know what I mean? It's just like I'm thinking like, man, Jason might be out here for real. Usually, like the challenges, is like the environment, like shooting at night like that. Like I'm on the ground in the cold, on the ground, and they trying to keep me warm, cut and then trying to wrap me up, give me hand warmers and whatnot, and then action. I can't be cold. I can't act cold. It's like can't be. It's like it's not cold, and so I think more of the environment and terrain sometimes are the most challenging. I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jason Rising, which is coming out in June. I'm really proud of that project, and they got like some heavy hitters in there, in the movie, and I can't tell you. They're not going to disclose it. They want to surprise the fans with some of the people, but that's going to be a good one to watch if you like scary movies. And you can see the trailer. The trailer looks amazing.
Okay. I'm gonna definitely check that out.
But the rest of the projects I've been in, most of the projects I've been on have been just amazing. I find myself on mountaintops, along riverfronts, hanging out, eating good food, laughing and joking, until until they yell action. So.
Cool. So with your experiences in front and behind the camera, in your opinion, what is the most important quality of a director?
Communication. You got to be able to, as a director, everyone's there on set to recreate your vision. So the writer, may have a script and he has a vision of what he wants to see. The director has to be able to communicate with the writer to fully understand the story. But then the director also gets the opportunity of just kind of pulling it together and